So, here we are, Sunday at I don't even know what time, and I have saved the very best for last here. As you can see, this is my final interview of the day. Before I forget to mention this, very quickly, I need to thank Karen and Kristen and Michael Moda and all of the founders, all the participants, everyone that was gracious enough to give me an interview today. I've been off the horse for a while, so I appreciate the time that was given to me along with the format, and of course, my company, my cameraman, my better half, my everything, right behind the camera who you didn't get to see, my Michael. So thank you so much to everybody for that. Along with all the great thoughts and sentiments and prayers for Michael. He could use them, so could I, so I appreciate that. So, the spotlight here is on this young lady right here. If you look up above, you might remember that name and that show right there. But the person sitting here today is not quite the same person that you remember from television. Her name is better known as Nat D, otherwise Nat.
Natalie.
Help me out.
It's okay, you don't need help. Natalie DiDonato.
There you go. Now, the very first question I want to start off with, we'll go and we'll backtrack, and this is my one mob wife's question.
Okay.
Of all of the things that you know and have experienced since the time you did the show, looking back, would you go back today and say, I'd still go back and still do the show and still go through all of that?
So, for me, I had a lot of people try to influence me to tell me to do it, to not do it. I'm so glad that I'm a leader and I don't listen to people because my intuition and my vibes are always right. It was a great opportunity for me.
Sure.
It was a good platform. I don't want to be on television ever degrading any women. I pride myself on being a lover, being very nurturing, embracing women. But it was a good opportunity. I'm so glad that I embraced it, and I feel that I did my thing. For the good, the bad, and the indifferent, the drama, it brought the ratings up. It brought opportunities. I didn't sell my soul, and I'm happy. And I'm blessed, yeah.
Has the show opened up? A lot of people talk about opportunities that are given, but sometimes that's not always the case. Do you feel that through the show you've been able to do some wonderful things and influence people in a positive way through that?
So I've always worked with women against abuse. And I was an advocate. I had a situation happen when I was a child. I've been doing that strong for now 18 years. It's coming up on 20. And that really, really put me in a different type of position to be able to help so many other women on a larger scale. For me, when I help other people, I feel complete. Like, I always feel like there's a missing piece or I'm bleeding in front of everyone. Me and him always say this, but lately I just feel so at peace with myself because I'm able to give people, I'm able to pour my knowledge into other people and let them know, like, you also can be strong. I don't take anything negative. It was all good. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Now, we all know, of course, that you're from Philly, and we actually
South
flew in.
Philly.
There you go, South Philly. We flew in, and we saw a bit of Philadelphia, so I have to ask you, because you were here during the time of crisis, we weren't. Things are not up to 100% there from what we could see, but tell us a bit about your experience during the pandemic, and how did it affect you mentally, physically? Did you make it through okay?
Okay, so I feel like this is how I feel. So the world, right, that we live in, you're gonna have good, and with all good comes bad. I'm a big firm believer of the yin and the yang. I do my best work under pressure. So when the pandemic happened, you always have to be prepared. Like my grandma always said, make sure you prepare for a rainy day. That goes for, not just that little saying. I think that a lot of people lost their businesses. It hindered their happiness. You had to reinvent yourself. Ultimately, you have to be severely strong-minded. For me, I made a decision where I'm going to sell my business, and I'm going to end up, my mom and I, we sold our business. I'm going to leave North, and I'm going to go to Florida. My sister just had a baby. I'm going to embrace the love of my family, and I'm going to hit the restart button.
Huh.
With all that, I was engaged. Things didn't work out. Everything happened the way it was supposed to. Living up North, everything was like this. There was no businesses open. There was no money to make. So I knew it was like a dead end. I ended up going to Florida, and I became a horseman. I felt like the floodgates opened. I started branching out, meeting more people. I worked with animals. I got in amazing shape. And no matter what, I feel like if I was in quicksand, I could manage to get out of it. There's nothing I can't do. I really know my own power now. Like, I'm not like tooting my own horn, like, but I am. Not everybody knows. Like, it's all about, we talk all the time. I tell my people, like, yo, you could call today. You can call the day. Anything that you want, you can have. It's not about just manifesting it. It's about speaking it, thinking it, being creative. So, yeah.
Now, it sounds like you are very solid within yourself, but I have heard and I have seen, not only in social media, but I've talked to people who have followed you or watched the show, and they are underconfident, they are less than strong, they are still trying to find themselves. What would you say to those women?
So I just feel like we're human. Don't be so hard on yourself. You're allowed to cry. You're allowed to be weak. You're allowed to fuck up. You're allowed to make mistakes. You know, don't worry about judgment. If you did something you shouldn't do, own it, but don't live in it. Like, the past is the past. We don't live there. Some people just don't know how to get out of their own way. And some people, they live in their own head because they can't trust the people that they think they can. So they're suffering in silence.
Sure.
I feel like the world would be a better place if people were just able to be themselves. Fuck what anybody thinks. Do what you want. Live your life. And do it to your standard.
Gotcha. Right. Now, I do notice most people may not have looked at your IMDb, but I did, since I'm a journalist, and I note that you have done some acting work, so it wasn't just on television. So tell me a bit about the film aspect. What made you want to do film, and more importantly, are you going to continue to do it, and maybe even in the indie world or above?
So for reality TV, I was a reality TV socialite. Yeah, to some people I was a celebrity, but now I'm a celebrity, and now I'm an actress. I actually have the resume to back it up. Not only did I do that movie, but I've done other movies. I've done Telemundo. I've done Fox News. I've done CNN. I've done ESPN. I mean, it's crazy. Mm-hmm. With all that being said, you know, being on IMDb now, we actually took it down, had it revamped. They only put me on there for a few seasons of Mild Wives. Mm-hmm. Like I said, it was a great platform. I want to continue acting. I want to continue building and flourishing. Acting is not, it's not as easy as people think it is. You have to become that character. You have to be good. You have to be very comfortable and confident. I want to continue doing it. I love it. I don't like it, I love it.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Speaking of inspiring, you had talked to me, of course, about the charity work that you do. So, of course, we want to talk more about that. Tell me a bit about some of what, in your mind, is the greatest accomplishment to date through your charitable work that you've done?
I met a gentleman that is a quadriplegic, and I never will take another minute of my life for granted, ever. There's a lot of times that I blurt out, life is fucked, I hate this shit, why me? I don't talk like that no more. My mom called me the other day, she had a minor problem, and I told her, whoa, that's not real life. You know what I mean? Like, that's not even a real problem. Sometimes we don't realize how blessed we are. For you to be able to go to the bathroom, be able to go and brush your teeth, you're blessed. This guy was driving with his dog and his brother, and they literally were just going to have barbecue at a park, and he got hit by a drunk driver. He's paralyzed from the waist, from the neck down. Well, I took care of him for like 6 months. I was like his home nurse.
Sure.
The feeling that I gave him, the things that I did for him, that changed my life. Being able to give someone else life is just like a feeling that when somebody turns around to you and says, you give me life, there's no better words to hear than that. It's better than I love you. It's like, wow, I give you life. That's a heavy one. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, like I'm able to do that.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, if somebody wants to help you with your endeavors on the charitable side, do you take volunteers? Do you have events during the year? Where are you looking to expand with this?
So I'm working on, like, I have severe trust issues, and a lot of people that I've had next to me weren't, maybe, not all of them, because I've had some really great dealings. But in this industry, in this business, it's tricky. It's super tricky. For me, I would love more the merrier. But like-minded people that are tasteful, people that exude class, people that know how to hold a conversation, somebody that's not in it for themselves, but in it collectively to build as a team.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm right now I'm hiring interns and a assistant. I had an amazing assistant. She went to London. God bless her. She got a job making 6 figures, so I'm happy for her. But she was the type of girl I never needed to ask her to do shit. She was hands-on, super assertive, and she executed stuff.
Gotcha.
So it's hard to find.
Oh, absolutely.
People don't even fucking want to work.
Oh, I know, right? Everybody's off of work and either unemployed.
Getting that
this,
PUA
this.
shit, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Now, I have to ask you about, if you look up here, you see you've got your different styles. If you go onto her social media, you're going to see constant color changes, outfit changes. Case in point, the way you look right now. So you have a huge flair for fashion. So I have to ask you, is this just you as a person, or is this you tapping into your audience and knowing that they want to see you like this?
So my mom was 21 when she had me, and she was dressing my sister and I up like we were dolls. Like, I mean, we were going to the Four Seasons with white gloves on, our hair done.
Sure.
I'm talking like 3 years old, 4 years old. My mom was a single mom raising us, and my sister's gorgeous. My mom's very attractive, but my mom was very big on, you are refined, you're a lady. Make sure you always keep yourself well kept. Make sure you always look the part, always. So for me, I became like a trendsetter. I always, because my mom right now, she's got a 23, 24 waistline.
Oh gosh.
She works out, she looks unreal. So she's always encouraged that with me. And also, if you want to be taken serious, make sure you're serious.
Absolutely.
So I love fashion. I really, really, really enjoy the independent artists more than the bigger labels.
Nice.
Not really with the big labels, to be honest with you. I'd rather work with, I'd rather support a business that's like growing, that's super talented than, I don't know, a bigger name brand.
Sure.
But yeah, I live for all that stuff. I love it.
Now, because of course
But
I'm
I just, not to interrupt you, but I'm not,
no.
one more thing. I'm not really a girly girl though. It is crazy, right? It's funny though. Like, if you look at my knuckles, like,
Yeah.
I box. That's a
Oh my
twist.
gosh.
That's a twist. So I box.
Okay.
I'm rough. There's nothing
Okay.
easy about me. I'm like a bull in the China store. The reason I don't have nails on is because they last 5 minutes. I break them.
Sure.
So that don't work out.
Oh my gosh.
But for me, I'm not high maintenance at all. At all. You would think I am, but I'm not high maintenance. I got glasses on because I didn't get my lashes done. But that's a story.
Okay.
Anyhow, I do like tapping into my tomboy self, wearing a baseball cap and no makeup.
Sure.
No bra, no underwear. I love that shit. I just do.
my
It's
gosh.
like, guys would call it free balling. It's just a freeing feeling for me. When you have a big ass, a thong, eat your butt. Yeah, that part. I love that shit. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Makeup though, I like it, right?
Sure.
But it's heavy.
Oh yeah.
And it just, you go to hug somebody, your face is on their shirt.
Oh my gosh.
So,
So I have to ask because, of course, I have a lot of followers that go onto my page, and of course, they knew that I was interviewing you, a few of them, and the immediate question was, of course, you need to find out if that girl's dating anyone, because you're obviously radiant for a young woman. You look very good,
Right.
obviously. So that's, and you don't have to answer, but I'm like, well, we are here, so I suppose I should ask.
sure, no problem. So I was single for a while, and I was just taking time to work on myself.
Sure.
Because like this is the thing, right? If you start dating guys, right, and you're always like, when you talk to women, right, you want to really tap into the things they say.
Absolutely.
So women have a tendency to say, oh, all guys are shit. All the guys I date are piece of shit. Okay, cool, but bitch, you picked them. So if you pick them, right?
Right.
Don't you take accountability?
Sure.
All right. So for me, I was picking a different type of guy, and I needed to work on myself because they weren't really bad guys. That was my choice.
Sure.
And then, like when I started owning that, better came my way.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I am dating somebody.
Very, very cool to hear. Lovely. So, now that I'm sitting here, I'm sure somebody else will want to sit here eventually and see you, meet you, etc. Do you have plans for the future in terms of, can people come and see you? Do you have projects that are coming out?
Yeah.
Tell me about the future.
I'm working on merch right now. I have a few business ventures that I'm working on. I'm going to start doing pop-up shops.
Oh.
I have a deal with Models right now. We're going to do some pop-up shops for this boxing event, celebrity boxing. All right, so let me get to it. So I'm doing a boxing match in October.
Yes.
All right. Anybody that wants to fight me, step up. Maybe if you have what it takes, we'll see. Anyhow, a proceed of my winnings are going to go to a charity. I haven't decided which charity yet.
Nice.
That I'm going to donate that to.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, they're 3-minute rounds. They're 3 rounds. It's for fun and momentum. And I have plenty of projects going on. But the best way to be able to tap into me and see what I have going on is to follow me on my handles. Instagram is Natalie DiDonato _ which is NATALIE DiDonato DIDONATO _ Facebook. There's about 10 pages, but my official page is the Natalie DiDonato.
Yes.
And then the rest of them are fan pages that are ran by other people. And then on Twitter, it's DiDonato Natalie.
Yes.
And if you follow those pages, they will let you know the up-and-coming events that I have. I just got approved by Google and iTunes. I have my own app coming out by App Depot.
Okay.
Okay. Which was formerly known as Appadoo by. I always want to make sure I give my friends their flowers and their credits because the people behind the scenes, they're the reason that we're here.
Absolutely.
So Benjamin Kuruba, he owns he's an app developer. He's a young gentleman my age from South Philly, and he started developing apps and he flourished, making millions off of it. Came to me, gave me a great opportunity, we worked really hard on this app where it's going to be so sophisticated that my Instagram and all my social media, it's going to be all incorporated and run off the actual social medias
Oh my gosh.
in one. Yeah.
Holy
So you can buy tickets to my events. You can get your autographs. Fans can send fan mail. They can send selfies all day. I can post them. It's a great opportunity for me to make money as well. Sponsorships, the whole kit and caboodle.
Are you on Cameo as well,
I
right?
am.
Okay, so Cameo.
Yeah,
also.
I do really well in Cameo.
Gotcha. Okay, so the last question I, of course, saved, we should discuss Floyd.
Okay. Floyd Mayweather?
Yes, Floyd Mayweather. Actually, maybe I think it might be best to let you run with it and just say what you want to say about it.
Okay, so I met Floyd. I met him 5 years ago in Las Vegas. Renee called me and was like, want to go to Vegas? I was like, people laugh at me the way I say Vegas because it's like, I have an accent.
Okay.
She's like, no, Natalie, not Vegas. We start laughing. I'm like, yeah, let's go. We go to Vegas. We had a time of our life. We went out there for a week. Her and I went to a show. We went to dinner. We got tipsy. We had a ball.
Okay.
Then we went to the after hours in Las Vegas called, damn it, Natalie, what's wrong with your brain? After Hours Club, it'll come to me. You guys remember the After Hours Club in Las Vegas I was telling you, Dane, about? What's the name of it? We always talk about it. It doesn't matter. It was a club in Las Vegas. He had a bouncer came over to me and had the TMT hat. Mm-hmm. And I already knew what it was hitting for. I knew that I was being approached. And he was like, somebody wants to meet you or whatever. Mm-hmm. At that moment, every girl in the club looked like they wanted to kill me. I was like, oh God, here we go. So I go over, we start shooting the shit. It was all love. He knows that I love boxing. And we were just, talking. And he tried to take me home. I wasn't with it. I kept a good stance. I kept my composure. He could have any girl he wants. And being that I didn't go home with him, we had a great friendship. We still do. And one time I was in a jam. My money was a little fucked up. We've all been there.
Of course.
Threw me a couple bumps in the road. And he called me and was like, how's your day going? I was like, it's not a good day for me. I was like, my car just got impounded. I got mad tickets. I was like $6,000 in tickets. And he was just like, okay, so if those tickets went away, you got your car, your day would be better. Don't you know in 20 minutes he wired me $6,000? I got my car out that day.
Oh my God.
Never once ever did I sleep with him, kiss him. And he doesn't try anymore because it's more so I guess it's oh, if you want this, but he gave me an opportunity to say, if you want to, we play basketball at these events.
Sure.
And when Floyd plays, look, he's Floyd. He's pretty boy Floyd Mayweather.
Right.
The girls that he associates with or that he has on payroll, they're all drop dead gorgeous. For me, I don't judge anyone. That's just not what I want.
Gotcha.
I don't want to be set up where you give me a business, a couple $100,000, and I gotta fuck you and share my dick with 10 other girls.
Jeez.
I'll probably be in jail. Yeah, I can't do that. Yeah. It's
I'm
too much
glad.
sex anyway. Yeah, I can't do that. No.
Thank you for addressing that.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm all about free love, and I'm a free spirit, and I'm crazy and wild, and I'm all with the shits. But yeah, that's not me. So he likes that I'm nuts, and he likes I'm crazy and fun, and but what really blew my mind about him was that we know that he's the world champ, right?
Right.
And we know that he's Floyd Mayweather.
Of course.
But it's do you know that? Because when I met him, he must have sent me maybe 300 selfies of himself.
Oh, geez.
And I was like, do you even know my name? Anyway, he's looked out for me tremendously. He's put me in a position to be able to, Nat's going to be on my team. That brings up your value. It does.
Absolutely.
Associating with somebody that doesn't have any bad habits, doesn't drink, doesn't do drugs, perfects a craft, gets into a fucking ring, is like a goddamn god. Come on. Never been knocked out. What are we talking about?
Oh, I get you. I do.
Right?
Right. So I have to say in closing, it's refreshing to see, especially since the evolution of when the show started to where you are right now, and just reading what you say and seeing how you are in person. You've just evolved over the years to something that's become literally much stronger and definitely much more solid in terms of where she wants to be. So congratulations with all of your success.
Thank you so much. There's one thing I want to just say, a little testimony. So for me, the reason I'm like this is because all these years, I have struggled, I've suffered in silence. The reason I ultimately do charities is because I am an advocate for women that have been sexually assaulted. I went through a really bad travesty as a kid. And instead of keeping my light dim and being I'm a victim, going through those horrible, I was on trial for 2 years of my life. I had a gun put to my head, I had the trigger pulled, things that have happened to me. My car was blown up. There were 6 sticks of dynamite in my car, under my hood. I was in my car at 1:45. The car blew up at 2:15. So, I've had somebody trying to kill me now for 21 years. He's still in prison, and that's my mom's ex-husband. With that being said, I'm not hard to find. I'm not hard to find. So if you're a killer, why am I still here? Because you're not about that life. Chances are I kill him before he kills me. I had this a spiritual awakening one day. I realized my power and knew what I'm capable of. And when I did that television, all these wonderful things started flourishing. So I just think, like, you know, we go through things. We go through shit in life. Everybody's dealt a hand. Some people have them worse than others.
Sure.
You gotta, life is what you make it. It's not, all this happened to me. I hear people say that all the fucking time. It happened, move on from it. If it was a travesty, own it, get help, and keep it going.
There you go.
You know, you can't be like, oh, I'm doing drugs because I'm fucked up. No, you're doing drugs because you like them. You like them. And you like them a little bit more than you like your relationship. Where, you know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
It's just, for me, I think that I frown upon weakness. I also was weak at once upon a time, and I had to, like, forgive myself for being that. If I wasn't weak, though, I wouldn't be strong. I won't be who I am.
Sure.
So you're allowed to be weak, right? But you're not allowed to feel bad for yourself too long.
There you go.
Right.
That's exactly right.
Right.
Wise words from a wise woman. And that's a wrap on Sopranos Con.
I loved our interview. It was super
Really?
dope. Thank you. Well, because you're allowing me to be myself.
Of course.